It's actually my birthday today. I am 42, and I'm reflecting on like the year that has been. And so it's been a really good conversation, and I wanted to capture some of my thoughts. Allow me to interrupt for a quick moment to apologize for the audio you're about to hear. It's not perfect. The microphone was clearly too close to my face, and rather than scrap all this footage, I actually wanted you to hear it anyways because it was such a raw, moment of just reflecting. And so I do apologize about the audio, but I thought it was still worth watching. So here you go. I'm reflecting on like my time in my making YouTube content. Now, I'm not going to turn my camera and show you, but I've got some wall art of all of my, Toronto Unicorn YouTube thumbnails, not all of them, but most of them in order. And I have another one that's like going to get printed any day now with like a bunch more. And it's it's visualizing this giant display on my wall of these little thumbnails of different videos, and every single video I put my heart and soul into this channel, and I showed the most vulnerable parts of myself when I was nervous going to sex clubs, when I was alone going and wondering, am I going to regret going alone? Right. And then I report, how I felt after I would go, whether it was a good night or a bad night or whatever. And I showed it all. And each of those are these little thumbnails, right? That represent, almost like a brick in the path of my journey, if you want to put it that way. So it's really a time of reflection and like standing back and taking in the visual of all these thumbnails and of all that I have seen and done. It's been about 5, 6 years that I've been in the lifestyle, and I was gung ho for a lot of it. And so to see what I have experienced, I mean, I could tell you my beginning stories over and over again. It's the same story, right? But I did not start this journey the confident, body positive, you know, free spirit person that I am now. I mean, I've always been a free spirit in a way, but I was like closed off too. I was ashamed of my body. I was afraid to exist that way in front of men. I was vulnerable. I was more performative in sex than I was present in sex. It was just this way of being that I didn't know how to live better either. And so having this lifestyle experience where I joined and I unlocked this thing in myself, and I felt more alive for the first time in like a decade. And then I got to show that on my YouTube channel. I got to show each and every, step of that journey. I didn't even leave one night out. Like, every time I even had a couple of people over to have a hookup at my apartment, I'd make a vlog about it. Even if it was like online dating. I remember I was like, I had some videos talking about how I'm like, online dating, and I'm about to meet guy number. I remember one time I met two guys in the same night because I'm like an efficient person, and like one was like at like 7, and the other one was like at 9, so it worked out. But like it was just this like journey of finding the thing that I was looking for, right? And the partner in crime, and so I crash and burn more times than not, and so you get to see that too. And I think that's the part of the journey that I think is just so relatable to people, is that I did not have this like big, smooth sailing journey. I got rejected too, even asking people to play. I remember within the last 2 years, I was a single woman at the time, and I approached this couple that I was talking to all night and offered to be their unicorn. And I saw them look at each other and then be like, thanks, but we're looking to just like make friends tonight. And so I had to be that person that's like, oh, okay, all right, no worries, no worries, don't cry, so don't cry. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's my inner world, because I don't want to be rejected either, and I still did. I still had men reject me at times, right? I'd like a guy, I'd ask him to play, he'd say he's leaving, and then 20 minutes later I see him with someone else. I'm like, that guy likes me. It happened to me too. So I like the honesty of the journey. I like that even though the journey has changed over the years and I'm no longer the single woman nervous, going. Now I'm partnered. I like to go to events with my partner once in a while. We're looking for something really specific and niche in the lifestyle. Like we're looking for like the MFF threesome sort of thing. And that's what we want off the menu. We understand there's other things listed on the menu, entrees, appetizers, what have you, but we know what we want. And it's not the whole menu. And so it's also for me, it's going home to myself and my original fantasy. When I was a young girl at 34, 35, and I entered this lifestyle, I wanted a threesome. I wanted to be in a threesome. But it wasn't plan A to be the single woman. I thought I was going to have a boyfriend that I would have a threesome with. That was my plan A. And so, 34, I'm like, well, fuck, is plan A not happening? What do I do now? And am I going to go forward, and pursue something I want even without the comfort of someone else? So it wasn't an easy choice for me to be like, I went alone to the sex club. It was fucking terrifying. And I still did it. And it was worth it. And it was a growth opportunity. And that's why I like it when I see other people take that chance too. So it's an interesting journey change, right? So now I'm looking for that threesome thing, and now I'm actually looking for it the original way I wanted to, which is with a partner. Looking for that extra woman. I want to be the good girlfriend that's sitting, in the room being like, "Yeah, honey, you can take that. You can get that PJ from her, and it's all good." I want to be that girlfriend that's like has that kind of cool sex. I've always been that way. I think I'll really enjoy it as long as the girl is good vibes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And when that day happens and I fulfill my original fantasy of having a threesome with my boyfriend, which I haven't yet had, right? That will be the biggest vlog I've ever done. And it'll be like all caps, the title. It'll just be the next big thing that I get to accomplish. So there's still more to do, but it's like an amusement park you've spent all day at, and like, yeah, the rides are still there, and the entertainment is still there. But do you really want to go on that ride again so many times? So, in a way, it's the lifestyle appeal has changed too over time. But yeah, so spoiler alert: thinking of writing a book. I'm thinking of doing a lot of fucking things. So like, manage your expectations. But I'm thinking of writing a book, and what would I was talking to ChatGPT about the structural of it. Is it going to be a diary? Is it a memoir? Is it a hybrid? And things like that. And it talks about the emotional arc of the book. And so I'm just like brainstorming it out with this artificial intelligence product that I do have training in now. So I've actually, done some training with course online, and I've gotten some skills with it. So I've been using it, and it talked about how the journey of this lifestyle had a peak. It was like the beginning where I was new, the high, where I was having all these great validating experiences, meeting all these friends, and then the stabilization or integration, as it called it. So it's very different place when I'm now partnered. I'm happy in a relationship. I'm not looking for single men. I'm not looking for couples to take me in and to have a threesome. And so it's a really different way to experience the lifestyle. And so it's like that's phase 3 in the book layout. But the arc, what they're calling it, is basically a girl who was so unaware of you know how to live in her body, and then going and being around people who desired me, and then embodying that desire, and feeling powerful, and then living, and it's true. That is one of the arcs of the story of my journey. My journey was a lot to do with sex clubs and having hookups and looking for hookups and whatnot. But that was not everything. That was just the spicy bits, right? There was so much more happening, the networking that was happening, like the amount of things I learned about men just from going to a DTF night, like the amount of men to watch as a voyeur. It's just so many. I get to see how do they approach picking up women. I get to see what works, what doesn't. I get to watch, how everyone's reacting to everyone else, and it's just like I took psychology in university, and this is like psychology, you know, like immersive, like observational experience. It's just like, oh, okay. And so one of my favorite parts was when I would go and help kind of shy, people maybe they're on their own, and I would form a circle in the pool at Oasis and be like, hey, let's just like start talking to one another. Like let's just make a connection here. And then one of my biggest joys was when I would see matches. So I would make this sound ding 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 whenever somebody in the circle would match with someone else. So maybe they were looking for being pegged, and then the person had they admitted that they wanted to peg someone, and I was like ding 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 ding. True story. That was Amelia, by the way, and there is a video to back it up. So that was a case where I matched people who were looking to have a certain fantasy fulfilled. They went, they did it that night, they had a great time, and I went home feeling like King fucking Kong. Like I was just so happy, so fulfilled. Um, yeah, it was wonderful. So, so as 42, I just turned 42 today, and I'm reflecting on this last, year. I have gone to the sex clubs a little bit less than the year before. There are some sex clubs I haven't made it to recently, but it shows the different priorities of even my friends, right? Not my friends aren't always out clubbing the same way we were before, and so it's interesting if you look at my vlogs, and because I have playlists on YouTube and stuff where it's like all my 2025 videos, all my 2024 videos, all my 2023 videos, and you'll see such a difference. In 2022, I think it's like hundreds of videos. 2024, it's like maybe 87 videos. Like I don't know, I'm guessing. I'm just fucking guessing a random number, but the difference is noticeable. That like I was gung ho for a while. I was making a lot of content. Now, in fairness, I make a lot of content still. I just don't put it on YouTube. This channel has been demonetized. I am just grateful that it is allowed to be standing, so that the content can stay active out there. So it is, what do I care if people want to my content or anything? Like, good for them if they find it. I don't need it to go viral. I won't make a penny off of it. Yeah, I might get some fans to my fan page, but this was never about money. This was about I'm a girl who had a story and a journey to share, and so that's why I did it. But I do have other content, and that's where I have been. So I might not be as busy on YouTube, but I mean, I have my fan page. Guys, if you don't know I have a fan page by now, and if you're not willing to even take a peek at it, then you must just not be captivated enough, because I do have more content. I have a lot more content, and it is available on an adult's fan page, and you can see and talk to me there. It's crazy how cool it is to be able to actually connect with top fans there, and get their even perspective on what the content is that they like. And sometimes I like hearing the fans who sign up, like their stories, what brought them to me, what kind of questions do they have. I give a lot of coaching to virgins who subscribe, so like things like that. I absolutely love connecting with an audience there. So even if you're not the kind of person that would ever subscribe to a fan page before, I understand. I wasn't the person who paid for content before either. I understand. But some things are just worth it. And I pay for Netflix. I pay for other things because they're worth it. If you think it's worth it for a month to try, I hope you do. Because I am in existence in other places in a much richer way, in a much more uncensored way. And yeah, so I also have my other podcast that I've been busy working on. Dear Diary is one of my favorites because I do it without makeup on, without the video camera rolling. It's an audio podcast for the most part. I have loved that format because it's basically like whenever I want to pick up the phone and call a friend, it's like I just hit record and start saying Dear Diary, and I'm suddenly recording a podcast episode of all my inner thoughts and things that happened to me that week, and wins and things that pissed me off and whatever. And it's just like talking to a friend, and maybe I need that friend out there metaphorically more than someone listening, but warms my heart is that even though the podcast is new, when I hit publish on an episode, it's hit in multiple countries immediately. Like to see 10 countries listening to that episode within the first 24 hours, like that's podcasting. That's not YouTube, right? So I am in existence other places. If you look hard enough, I believe in your ability to find me. But yeah, so there's a lot going on, and 42, the year 42 for me will be one of, another evolution. How will I contribute again? Will it be a book? Will it be a course? Will it be both? Because I have ADHD. I don't fucking know. But yeah, so I'm excited to see where the journey goes. But I think it's been fun. Oh, apparently, I uploaded. Okay, so I've been uploading my transcripts of videos that I'm about to put on YouTube into ChatGPT, and I'm like, hey, can you act as a community guidelines reviewer and like, flag any problematic sentences or whatever? And let me tell you, apparently the word blowy. Blowy is not like the secret thing I thought it was. Apparently, it's very well known to be the same word as like essentially a blow. So I'm just gonna have to reflect on that and how to move forward because I don't know how much more coded I can talk on YouTube. I don't like talking coded. I don't like being masked. I don't hang out with a lot of vanilla world people because I don't want to have to mask for the vanilla world expectations. So that's to me that's like what when I have available now on YouTube. So if you want to see the non-vanilla podcasting are still is still free, by the way, all of them. So all right, thanks guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I don't know when I turned into the girl that looked into the camera and said, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, but I fucking did, and I have to actually say it or you won't fucking do it. I've also learned that. So please